I live in an apartment complex on the edge of a bad neighborhood. Our immediate area is pretty good. We have a church across the street, a retirement home next door, and a grade school on the other side of the street. The rest of the neighborhood for a couple of blocks is normal middle-class homes, but sometimes the area to the north of us leaks. Our complex is gated, but it doesn't really do anything, because anybody who wants to get in just waits until a resident opens the gate. I mean, it's whatever. What can you do? Usually, I park in the guest spot just outside the gate, but still in the lot, because I leave for work crazy early, and I've been parked in before. Then I can't figure out who did it, because everyone is asleep. So I'm parking my car, getting out, reaching into my pocket to hit the opener, and I'm walking through the gate when out of nowhere this silver SUV with dealer plates comes screaming into the gate blasting gangsta rap, only missing me by maybe 6 inches, maybe less. I'm pissed and stunned and yell out, "Bro, you almost hit me. Look where you're going." He turns down the music and opens the window and says, "What you say?" And I repeat myself. He's a Hispanic guy, probably in his early 20s, well-dressed, good-looking. He looks at me, completely calm and conversational, just as if he was saying, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the 7-Eleven is?" And says, "I don't care. Don't you understand that? Your life is nothing to me. If you got a man up there, I'll slap this shit out of him right now in front of you. Believe that." His eyes looked completely dead, just calm and cold. That's what scared me, not what he said. He parks his car in the lot, music still blasting. It sits there for about 10 minutes when I hear the neighbor downstairs yelling at him to turn it down. The guy comes out of the apartment he was in, gets in his car, K-turns in the parking lot, and smashes his ride right into my neighbor's car, then peels out of the parking lot. The police come and talk to everyone. The apartment he visited is a couple, their child, and a roommate and her baby. The visitor is the father of the roommate's baby. The couple knew of him, but not who he was. The man answered the door, and this dude just pushed his way in, made threats to his ex in the same calm manner, then came out, rammed the neighbor's car, and left, all without breaking a sweat or raising his voice. The roommate explained that she was with him for about a year, and he was as sweet as could be. She got pregnant, he disappeared, and when she took him to court to file for child support, she found out that he has 11 other children by 10 different women, counting her. That's some Hannibal Lecter shit right there. And if this guy hasn't already killed someone, I fully believe he could. He didn't settle of this stuff so casually. This happened just this last summer. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood in Utah, and in this town there's a cemetery. I love all things creepy and horror, so I frequently visit the cemetery. I like the vibe, plus it's nice to visit the graves of people I once knew. On one of these occasions, I was walking through the cemetery with a friend. We wandered to this historic section which had the graves of people who died in the 1800s. I was reading headstones when I noticed a white truck follow close behind me and my friend. I notified her so we could decide if he was actually following us. We moved forward a bit, and sure enough, the truck followed. Then we went back, and yes, the truck followed. All throughout the cemetery, this same truck followed us, and me being the paranoid person I am, I had my phone out with 911 typed in, but just not dialed. I was feeling off, so I decided to seek comfort by sitting next to my great-grandmother's grave, which is close to the main road. We had been sitting there for a few minutes when the truck pulled up and the man got out. He walked over to us, which caused my friend and I to immediately stand up. He told us that he was a cemetery worker and that he needed help loading supplies into his truck. This was complete and utter bullshit, and I clearly wasn't falling for it. In high-stress situations, I tend to get sassy. So that's what I did. I can't remember what I said exactly, but I do know that I completely infuriated him. He walked back to his truck and took off, and not long after, my friend's mom pulled up. My friend asked her mom if she could give me a ride home, but her mom said no because they were in a hurry. Thanks! I then called my mom to pick me up, and she said yes. But knowing my mom, it would take her forever to come and get me. I stayed in my spot next to the grave when the same damn truck pulled up again. This time he didn't get out of his truck, but instead he just sat there and stared at me. Feeling uneasy, I crossed the main road so that I could get to the church on the other side. It was locked, but I felt better being near it and the cars in the parking lot. Yet the same truck pulled up. This time, he rolled down his window, and what he said still gives me chills. "Hey Erika, I'm upset you didn't help me out. I was going to reward you. Daddy was going to please you." Okay, how in the fuck did he know my name? And why in the fuck did he just refer to himself as Daddy? I was beyond freaking out, and I proceeded to shout at him to fuck off. I started knocking on doors, the many cars being a clear indicator that someone was inside, and an old woman saw me and she opened the doors, ushering me in. I told her what happened. We called the police, but the guy was gone. They took a statement, and that was that. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and I had just gotten back from California. I walked into my house, exhausted and just wanting to sleep. I walked into my room, and sitting on my bed was a note. In my head, I immediately thought, how cute, because it wasn't uncommon for women in my neighborhood to leave me cute notes. But boy was I wrong. In the envelope was a 4-page novel written by, who I presume to be this creep, about all the things he wanted to do to me, in vivid detail. In horror, I immediately got my mom, and we called the police. This time, we were lucky. Turns out right after the police got here, the man also decided to return to leave another note. They caught him sneaking into my backyard and handcuffed him, and that was the last I saw of him. A day later, a sheriff comes to the door to tell us details about this man. He was a registered sex offender and had multiple assault charges against him. The next thing they said still haunts me. In the envelope was a picture of me in California, and found on his person was a switchblade, as well as some type of gun. Needless to say, I don't go to the cemetery anymore, and I won't risk it unless I wish to end up in the cemetery. Permanently. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. If you would like a chance to have your story featured in an upcoming video, make sure you email it to urmaker6260@gmail.com. So a couple of weeks ago I announced the winners of our giveaway for the Munio self-defense keychain. I've gotten a lot of people that claimed their prizes, but I also had 11 people that didn't, so I went through and redrew winners. So make sure that if you see or hear your name, that you private message me on YouTube through the account you used to comment on the video 3 weeks ago. And here are the redraw winners. Gary Barnett, Alicia McAdams, Kelly Glaze, in parentheses Lady Winchester, Kinsey Chris Craig, I hope I didn't butcher that too badly, Missy Wenner, Blabikins, Anthony Vallejos, Enrique Reyes, Optic Obsidian, badass name, I like that, Alejandro Cazada, Moonwolf Productions. So if you heard your name there, congratulations, you've won yourself a Munio self-defense keychain. Make sure that you private message me on YouTube through the account that you used to comment on the video that I announced it like 3 weeks ago. Congratulations to all the winners. And I mailed out the other shipment, all the other ones that were claimed Saturday afternoon. So hopefully this week, all the other winners that claim their prizes, you guys should start receiving them. Yeah. I hope you all had a great weekend, and I'll catch you in the next video. And just remember, it's always scarier if it's true.